Too many people lose battles they could have won, not because they lacked skill, but because they were polite when they should have been ruthless. Today, I will tell you the 5 moments where courtesy is a weakness, and how the cunning survive. When power hangs in the balance, politeness is not a virtue, it is a leash. In the moments that decide who commands and who obeys, the man who bows his head first has already lost the crown. The world may dress this truth in fine silks, speaking of civility, diplomacy, and grace. But beneath those silks is the naked fact that every seat of power is won through the appearance of strength, and strength does not smile unless it chooses to. Imagine a room where influence is being divided. The ambitious gather, each with their eyes fixed on the same prize. In such a place, every word you speak, every motion you make, is a declaration of who you are, predator or prey. If you soften your voice to spare the comfort of others, if you nod in agreement merely to appear agreeable, you are announcing that you will yield ground before the fight even begins. And in the game of power, ground once yielded is never given back. Politeness, when power is at stake, invites assumptions. People will begin to believe they can speak over you, decide for you, maneuver around you. They will interpret your courtesy as hesitation, your patience as uncertainty, your restraint as weakness. And once such an image of you takes root in their minds, it becomes a weapon they will wield against you without ever drawing a sword. Do not misunderstand, this is not a call to rage or uncontrolled defiance. A ruler does not need to shout to be feared. The truly dangerous are those who stand unyielding, whose tone never bends, whose words leave no opening for negotiation unless they have chosen to offer it. To display that you are unafraid to stand firm, even at the cost of offending forces others to calculate their every move in your presence, they begin to fear making the wrong one. Consider history. Thrones have been lost not because a ruler lacked an army, but because they wished to keep the favor of courtiers who secretly plotted against them. Leaders have been overthrown not by a sudden rebellion, but by the slow erosion of their authority, each grain of sand falling away when they chose politeness over firmness. They smiled when they should have spoken with command. They thanked when they should have demanded. When power is being contested, every exchange is a battlefield. Your posture, your choice of words, even the silence between them all are weapons. To sheath those weapons for the sake of being liked is to fight with your back turned. Let your rivals see not a gracious host, but an immovable wall. Let them feel, in the way you speak, that every concession must be earned through struggle, not offered in kindness. For in such moments, the perception of strength is strength itself, and the appearance of weakness invites a swift defeat. Betrayal is not simply an act against you, it is a public declaration that someone has measured your strength and found it lacking. It is the knife in the dark, but more than that, it is the whisper to the crowd that you can be struck without consequence. In the world of power, there are few crimes more dangerous than treachery, for it does not only wound you in the moment, it invites others to do the same. And if you respond with politeness, with forgiveness, with the soft hand of mercy, you are planting seeds of further revolt in the minds of all who watch. A traitor tests more than your patience. They test the boundaries of your will. They test how far they can push before you decide to act. Should you choose to treat their offense as a mere misunderstanding, they will not interpret it as wisdom or generosity, they will interpret it as hesitation. And hesitation is an invitation for the next act of disloyalty. In the cold arithmetic of politics and survival, betrayal is not to be reasoned with. It is to be crushed, not because vengeance is sweet, but because the stability of your rule demands it. Others must see that the cost of treachery is too great to bear, that the price of turning against you is paid not in discomfort, but in ruin. History favors those who make examples of traitors. In kingdoms, in courts, in companies, in any sphere where power is currency, the leader who ignores treachery soon finds themselves surrounded by it. You must remember that betrayal is never an accident. It is a calculation. The betrayer has weighed your influence, your reach, your willingness to act, and decided that they can survive defying you. Your response must prove them wrong in such a way that no one else dares to make the same mistake. This is why politeness is poison in such moments. To speak softly to one who has struck you is to place the dagger back into their hand. Do not fall for the common trap of appearing magnanimous for the sake of public image. Those who advise patience in the face of betrayal do so because they misunderstand the nature of fear. They believe that mercy inspires loyalty, but loyalty born of mercy is fragile because it relies on gratitude, and gratitude fades quickly. Loyalty born of fear, however, is resilient, for fear is a constant reminder. When a betrayal is revealed, act not with visible rage, but with deliberate certainty. Let your response be so precise, so unavoidable, that it becomes a story others repeat in whispers. A ruler who avenges betrayal swiftly is one who governs without challenge. A leader who greets it with polite conversation is one who will not govern for long. Those watching must come to believe that disloyalty is not a risk worth taking, that the shadow of your retribution is longer than any reward they could gain from turning against you. Negotiation is not a polite exchange of wishes, it is war without blood. Each word is a weapon, each pause a maneuver, each concession a wound. Those who approach the table with excessive courtesy believe they are earning respect, but in truth, they are surrendering it before the battle even begins. For in any negotiation, the first to bend is the first to lose, and the overly polite are quick to bend. When you sit across from another party to decide the division of resources, authority, or territory, know this: they are not there to be fair. They are there to take as much as they can while giving as little as possible. If they sense in you a desire to please, if they detect a fear of offense, they will press harder. They will take your smile as a sign of weakness, your graciousness as a signal that you will yield. And once they have learned this, they will carve deeper into your position until there is nothing left to defend. Politeness in negotiation is only useful when it is deliberate, when it hides the edge of your blade until the moment to strike. But to display it, as your natural state, is to give away your greatest advantage, the ability to unsettle your opponent. A negotiator who feels no pressure will take everything they can. A negotiator who feels they are dealing with someone immovable will adjust their demands before you even refuse them. Understand that your posture at the table is not just about this one exchange. It is about every future interaction. The way you hold your ground now will determine how they approach you next time. If they learn you are easily softened by polite conversation, you will never enter a negotiation without being at a disadvantage. But if they learn that your courtesy vanishes the moment it is tested, they will think twice before trying to take more than they should. History is filled with rulers and merchants who lost fortunes and kingdoms not through force of arms, but through the soft words they spoke when they should have been silent, and the eager agreements they gave when they should have been still. The desire to be liked, to be seen as agreeable, to avoid the discomfort of tension, these have undone more deals than any cunning trick. A true strategist does not fear silence. They do not rush to fill the air with friendly words. They let their presence, their unshaken tone, and their unwavering gaze do the work. They understand that discomfort is a tool. The longer the other side feels it, the more they will give just to escape it. To master negotiation, you must learn to let others feel that they are the ones who must please you, not the other way around. And once they believe that, you control the table, the terms, and the outcome long before the ink touches the page. Disrespect is not simply an insult, it is a test. It is a quiet probe into the limits of your authority, a calculated move to see if you will defend your position or allow it to be diminished. And once that line is crossed without consequence, it is never the last time it will be crossed. The first time someone speaks over you, mocks you, disregards your instructions, or challenges you in public without being answered, they are not just attacking your pride. They are planting the idea in everyone's mind that your word can be ignored. This is why politeness in the face of disrespect is dangerous. The world may tell you that rising above an insult is noble, that ignoring it shows strength. But this advice is given by those who have never had to hold power. For in positions of leadership, silence is not interpreted as dignity, it is read as permission, and permission breeds repetition. Those who test you are not looking for reconciliation, they are looking for boundaries. If they find none, they will push further. They will gather others to their side, those who take courage from the fact that you did nothing. Before long, what began as a single act of insolence becomes a culture of disregard. By the time you decide to act, you will be facing not one defiant voice, but a chorus. The moment disrespect is shown, your response must be swift and unmistakable. It need not be loud, but it must be final. The correction must be delivered in a way that leaves no doubt about the cost of repeating the offense. The person who challenged you must feel the weight of their mistake, and those watching must believe it is a mistake they will never make themselves. This is not cruelty, it is preservation. In every group, whether a kingdom, a company, or a small circle, there are always those who are quietly measuring the leader's strength. They do this not with scales and numbers, but with moments like these. They watch how you handle the one who dared to challenge you. Do you excuse it? Do you laugh it off? Or do you establish that such behavior is unacceptable in your realm? Your answer becomes their measure of your rule. The disciplined leader understands that the cost of action in such moments is always less than the cost of inaction. A single decisive correction may make you seem severe in the moment, but it prevents endless challenges in the future. On the other hand, sparing someone's pride at the expense of your authority may earn you temporary applause, but it weakens your foundation until it can no longer support you. To correct disrespect effectively, you must not act from wounded emotion, but from deliberate calculation. The goal is not to settle a personal grievance, it is to preserve the structure that keeps your authority intact. Those who witness the event should walk away with one thought: that to cross you is to risk more than they can afford to lose. Power is not maintained by chance, nor by the empty gestures of constant politeness. It is guarded through clarity, calculation, and the willingness to be feared when the moment demands it. Politeness, used at the wrong time, does not win you allies, it wins you opportunists. When power is at stake, when betrayal rises, when the terms of your future are being shaped, when disrespect challenges your authority, and when leadership over the unruly is required, kindness without strategy becomes a weapon turned against you. The wise ruler does not discard courtesy, but neither do they worship it. They wield it like any other tool, drawn only when it serves their design, and cast aside when steel must speak in its place. For in the great game of power, survival belongs not to those who are liked, but to those who cannot be ignored, cannot be swayed, and cannot be overthrown.